Hello, hello. We are live here. Give me 1 second and we will start the stream. Hey man, we're big chillin', baby. I get some coffee real quick, get settled in, and we will be on our way to another Wake Up Justin on YouTube. This is episode, I don't even know what episode this is. It's probably episode like 10 or 12, maybe I want to say. I don't know. We've been doing this for a while now. We're live though. It's the morning. I'm chilling. Ba, 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 the sun's coming up. I can see the sun coming up. I can see the sun coming up. I can see the sun coming up. How was everybody's weekend? Hope it was good. Hope you did the things that you should. There was no messing, no fussing. It's just wake up with Justin. Come on now. No subscribers. No, none of my subscribers are gonna come to my live streams. Come on. I got 13 subscribers, new subscribers in 1 month. Someone's got to pull up in the live stream and say hi. And I'll be like, what up? Shoot, I'll even give you a shout out. All right, we got coffee. All my neighbors are just now waking up. I've been up. Hold on. Let's see how the coffee hits today. You know, it's my favorite thing. In the morning, to take my sip of coffee. Let's see how it hits. You ready? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Here we go. Oh, baby. Man, I love coffee. Just like straight, regular, black coffee. Nothing in it. No cream. No sugar. No nothing, dude. It's my favorite, dude. I don't know why, but I really like coffee. It's weird. I like bitter. I like vinegar. I don't like sour. I don't like spicy. I don't like sour things. I hate spicy things. I hate how everything nowadays is spicy, bro. I uh I can walk like when I walk into the grocery store and I try to get something to snack or eat, dude. Everything's covered in spice these days. It's so stupid. It's like you guys are like marginalizing your people you're selling to. So it's like, dude, not everyone in the world likes everything spicy. You guys idiots. Just because it's a trend and like people like it's just dumb. I hate everything spicy, bro. They make like spice, dude. At one point, there's like spice coke. There's like spice coke, spice chips, spiced ice cream. Everything had spice in it, bro. I was just like, come on, man, what are we doing around here? You know, like everything's so. It's just. I do not like spice at all. My least my least favorite thing is spice for sure. I hate it. It's not good one bit. I don't like it. But it is 11172025, November 17th, 2025. Wake Up Justin is live here, beginning of the week on a Monday. Like I said earlier, hope everyone had a good weekend. Hope you got some things done. Saw your friends. Maybe saw some family. Whatever it may be, I hope you enjoyed your weekend and something fruitful came out of it. You know, it wasn't just a waste of time and you just slothed around the house and laid around the house. At least you did something. Saw friends, saw family. Went to the gym. Clean house, clean yard. You know, hopefully something got done. I'm here. I'm live, man. It's 7:02 a.m., baby. I think 7 o'clock. I think 7 o'clock is going to be the new start time for the stream. I think it's going to be 7 a.m. I think we go from 7 to 10. I don't mind. I can stream for 3 hours. That's no problem. I can stream for 3 hours. That's easy. I usually talk for like about a half an hour in the morning, anyways. So a 3 hour stream is a light work in the morning, especially because I have nothing going on from 7 to 10. Really, I mean, I don't know what I'd be doing from 7 to 10 if I wasn't streaming. I'd be like, I'd go to the gym probably for an hour. I can do that in an hour, anyways. Just like, you know, knock it out. So I usually don't work till like the earliest I work is 12 at noon. So it's like, I can go to the gym for an hour at 10, get done at 11, come home, shower, go to work. But I can also stream for 3 hours beforehand from 7 to 10. So it's like if I didn't stream from 7 to 10 in the morning, I don't know what else. I mean, I could go from the gym from 7 to 8, come home and stream from 8 to 11. But it's like I really, I don't know. It's a good question. I'm not sure if I should stream first at 7 or go to the gym at 7 and then stream. Like I could go to the gym at 7. Hold on. I could go to the gym at 7, right? Work out for an hour. It wouldn't work though, because then I would have to start the stream at 9. Because then I would rather have like I would have to go to the gym earlier actually. So I went to the gym at 7, worked out for an hour, came home, then I shower and change. There's another 15 to 20 minutes of showering and changing. So I wouldn't be able to leave like exactly at I wouldn't be able to be on stream I wouldn't be able to be on stream exactly at 8. And that would be the problem. Would be that. But other than that though, I mean, I think things are going pretty well. We definitely made some content. Definitely got some views and some subscribers going on. It's been pretty good actually. I can't lie. We got some views coming up. I just trying to figure out still what I want the stream to be about and what I want to do. Cause it's like, man, I don't mind talking about life and coming on here and giving things out and stuff like that. But like, at the same time, it's like, I don't think people really want to hear that kind of. I mean, people do and they don't. I think people have to be in a certain kind of mood to hear that the kind of things I'm like the kind of talk I'm talking about in the morning. I feel like some people have to be in a certain kind of mood to hear that. Otherwise, most people don't want to hear it. Like in a way. But I'm here. This is what I like doing though. I like talking. I like talking with people. There's no one ever goes in my chat and talks to me. Still no one here. And it's like, dude, I don't know. I do this all the time too. It's like I feel like some of my stuff just gets like pushed down, or like my accounts are like shadow banned from what I talk about and stuff like that. I feel like I do talk about some crazy stuff. I know for a fact they suppress things. I literally made 2 shorts. I made a short of me playing Arc Raiders for about a minute and a half over something stupid, and it gets like 900 views in a matter of 5 hours, and it just now it's done. It doesn't get any more views now just because it's not getting pushed anymore. But after that, I tested it out. So I made that short of me playing a video game, and it got 900 views on a short. And then I made a short about me talking about how all political parties are on the same team, and that short right now maybe has 2 views on it with the same. And so like it just shows you that like I'm pretty sure social media purposely like pushes the content you create that's just like fodder. It makes it has no meaning behind it. And I think they do that so it entices you to make it more. Cause like if I'm sitting here and I'm making these kind of videos about life and God and all these things and the politics and I'm getting no views, but all of a sudden I start playing a video game and all of a sudden my views are racking up and I'm getting all these hits. Like most people aren't going to stick by their convictions or their beliefs, and they're going to take the easy route. because most people are trying to do this for, money, clout, fame, whatever it may be. So it's like if you're starting off a certain way and you try something new and that new way isn't what you're originally doing, and it's like kind of dumbing down what you thought you could do on stream, then it's like, dude, they already won the battle. You know what I mean? Like they already got you. Like, can you imagine if I was just like, well, because most people in my shoes would have been like, well, if that's the case, I'm gonna start just focusing on gaming more and not even worry about the talk and just start gaming all the time and making clips about gaming and whatnot. But it's like, dude, that's not what I want to do. I didn't make this channel to be a gaming channel. You know, I don't mind playing video games. Once again, I have nothing against anyone who plays video games on stream. I have nothing against anyone who does those kind of things. I'm just saying that like I could see why people would stop doing what they originally were doing because YouTube doesn't, or social media really doesn't do much of that kind of stuff unless you're like a big name like Jordan Peterson or Tucker Carlson or whoever it may be, right or left. I'm just giving examples, that talk about these kind of subjects. Unless you're like, I think unless you're handpicked by the machine to talk about those things, you're not going to get much views on those things just for the fact that you're not controlled. You're not being told what to say. Because you got to realize they're all in on it. It's all part of the game. They're all in on whatever. So you're only going to see what they want you to see. You're only going to hear what they want you to hear. They're never going to give you the full truth. They're picking and choosing on what you see and what you hear and what you know. They're not going to let you know everything. Come on now. What like let's think logical here, you know? You think the United States government is going to tell the full truth to the citizens and let them know everything? Okay, yeah. Yeah, right, dude. What good would that do with? I mean, how can you? In their eyes, it's like how can you control? How can you control people when they have the full knowledge and full truth of what's really going on? Because you can't. You can't control people if they all know the full truth and full knowledge. It's you can't control people. You only that's why they keep fear going, man, for control, bro, baby. I've been reading the Bible a lot more. I've been reading the Bible a lot more. I've been praying a lot more, eating less, and all those things. Um, I still don't know, you know, what I want the stream to be about though. But I do know. Um, it's true, man. I thought of it. I thought of it. I always had that thought, and I always thought like in, in the game of good and evil, you choose the higher choice, which is love. Love is the answer to the end of time. Love will always be the answer to the end of time. It will never change. That will always be the answer is love. Love yourself, love your neighbor, love your enemies, all those things. Yeah, in the game of good and evil, choose love. That's what you do. Choose the higher option. Don't get lost in the sauce, man. That's what you don't want to do. Love is the ultimate answer at any time. It really is. I don't know how to. I can't. Like you said, I told us you guys this last week on stream. I can't save you. You have to save yourself. I can throw you a life ring out into the water if you're drowning, but I can't make you grab the life ring. You have to grab it yourself. I mean, I guess I could jump in and push you and put you on the life ring. Um, you know, But it's like at some point you have to um, come to this realization yourself. I can't force you to have faith. I can't force you to believe in anything. I can only change your perspective on how you look at things, and hopefully you come around to the conclusion of what I'm seeing. That's all I can do. I can come on here and give you analogies and tell you stories. And not tell you stories, but like tell you my life story, what I've gone through, how I helped myself go through those things and all those things to hopefully change your perspective to see how I see. That's all anyone can do is like change your perspective on and see the world how they see it. And hopefully you're listening to the right people and not listening to the wrong people. Because if you're listening to the wrong people, they're gonna muddy up the water of your perspective of the world so bad you won't be able to see clearly anymore. I think that's like a lot of the goals is that kind of like muddying up the perspective of people so they don't see the truth that's right in front of them. Because the truth is in plain sight, always has been, always will be on both sides of the coin. The truth in plain sight. It's like when you lose something and it's like you look and you look and you look for it and you can't find it. You're taking out the couch cushions, you're digging through your car and the thing you're looking for is always in the most obvious spot where you had it last. Always in the most obvious spot. But the thing is, it's such in plain sight and your mind is racing so much you don't even see it. You overlook it. Just like in life itself. The truth is in plain sight. It's just you're searching for it so much you're overlooking it. It's right here in front of you. It's that tree outside. I can see it at my window right now. It's the sky. It's the sun that's rising up. It's all of it. It's me talking to you on this screen. It's all in plain sight, man. I don't know what to tell you guys. It's right there in front of you. We're living in nature, man. Nothing's changed. What's changed? What's changed since the days of the Bible, really, besides the scenery? And we're living in more upgraded, and we're just living in a more modern civilization than they were. That's all it is. Nothing's changed. It's still going on. The battle still rages. Just now we have nicer houses, bigger buildings, better roads. That's all it is. But it's still the same thing going on. It's still the same battle going on. God is still real. Satan exists. That, like it's just a different set. But the play is still being played. I think people think like I really do think people think like we're above all that and we're beyond that and we're not. We're still in it. Just an upgraded version of it. This is like version 5.0, and back then it was version 1.0. Life is kind of like a gaming server in a way. Imagine back in the day when it was the year whatever year it was. I don't even know. Whatever. But imagine back in the day when the population on Earth was like 1,000 people, bro, and the server only had 1,000 players on it. Imagine that. What? Imagine what you would see and what you would and how the world would look with only 1,000 people existing on the Earth. Well, first of all, you would at nighttime. At nighttime, the sky would be lit up like the heavens. Are you kidding me? With no light pollution at all, and you could see clearly into the night sky, bro. I don't know if you've ever been anywhere in your life where there is no light pollution or very little light pollution, and like you come from a city and you never see anything in the night sky at all, and all of a sudden you go somewhere where there's like very little light pollution at all. Like I've only done a couple of, I've only been like that a couple times in I worked for my boss back in the day had cabins up in the UP in Michigan, and I used to cater for him whatever once a year. I used to cater for him up there, so I would always go up there because it was cool. And it was nice up there, and like I said, very low populated area. Maybe 100 people lived in that area, so the light pollution is very low. And dude, at nighttime, I would look up at the sky and be like, "Holy cow, this is what's up here." You'd be surprised. I'm talking like going somewhere so dark though you can't even see your hand in front of your face. It's that dark outside. When you look up at night, man, I think that is also what's missing in this world is like being able to look at the sky at night and seeing the actual night sky because it makes you realize like it humbles you. It humbles you. Well, it humbles you, and it makes you realize like how small we are compared to everything, and that obviously there's something going on that we don't know. And that's how it humbles you when you actually see the night sky. It humbles you knowing that there's things out there we don't know about, and there's forces and things being at play that we can't see or know about either. You know, because it's such far up in the universe. I always say, man, they should do it where it's like I always say they should do it where it's like you know the lights of the world should be shut off for like 5 minutes once a year, so everyone can see the night sky at least one time. And they should kill all the lights off in the world for at least like 5 minutes once a year. No lights. Just hit the switch, turn it all off, turn the whole power grid off for 5 minutes to the United States, so everyone can see the stars at night. To tell you what, everyone would be like, I, I guarantee you, if you did that one time and you turned off all the lights of the U.S. for 5 minutes, so people could see the night sky, I bet you people would love it and be like, "Holy shit, this is awesome." Sorry, don't mean to swear, but some people don't think that's. I think it's swearing. Um, you know what I'm saying? Like, really, like a humble experience that I think people don't get to see very often. So, I always thought that'd be a good idea to do something like that. Kill off the lights in the world for 5 minutes once a year. It'd be cool, man. It'd be cool, man. But do it on a like a moon eclipse or something like that, so you actually see some crazy stuff. That's just my thoughts, though. My thoughts, my ideas. Once again, everything you hear on this channel is my own opinion, my own thoughts. Nothing on this channel, you know, nothing on this channel scripted, paid for, nothing like that. This is all just me in the morning talking off the top of my dome, top of my head, or watching videos. But we will be watching a video today for sure. A couple of them actually. I'm not sure which ones, but we will be watching them. That guy in the white truck was staring at me through my house. He's watching. He knows what's up. But this guy, how is he like? I'm telling you, man. These people around me probably wonder what I do for a living, dude. I'm telling. Like, what does this guy do for a living? They're probably like, I'm serious. They're probably like, what does he do? They must, cause like, it's just funny. But I'm here. We're happy. We're healthy. We're doing it. Living the dream, baby. Hopefully the gym will be empty today. It probably will be. It's a Monday. I can't imagine the gym being too busy on a Monday at 10 o'clock. Be surprised though. I feel like the gym I go to, it's really weird. It's like the parking lot will be really full, and when I go inside, not a soul in there. It will be like dead empty. But I go to the gym where the parking lot's empty, and it's packed to the brim of people. It's like opposite. Anytime the parking lot's empty, I'm like it's busy, and every time it's full, I'm like it's really weird, man. It's just very strange how that works. I don't get it. I even talked to the guy at the front desk about it. I'm like, why is this place always more busier when there's less cars here than there's more cars? He's like, I don't know. Even he knows. He's like, I don't know. It's really strange, man. I don't get it. Very, very weird. I don't understand it. How much RAM do you need for a dedicated server? Dude, I got to stop hanging out with all these kids at work all the time, man. I don't hang out with them, but like, man, these kids at work. I do credit, I do credit, like, my like youthful mind and youthful heart to my job though, because throughout my whole adulthood, from like 18 to, well, 20 years, um, I worked in kitchens, and it's like I've always worked with high school kids. I've always worked with younger kids, high school kids or kids in their, or adults in their 20s and things like that. So I've always been around young people all the time my whole life. So like I definitely have a young mind and a young heart for that fact. I've always been working with younger people all the time. I've never, you know, I think that's kind of helped me with my. I think that's kind of helped me keep like a youthful spirit and a youthful heart and keep my looks youthful is by doing that. I know that sounds weird, but I think it's true because like I always tell myself, I saw my dad about one time, and I was like, man, I don't feel my age. Like, I don't look my age. I don't feel my age. He goes, yeah, because you don't have any kids. He goes, when you have kids, you realize, like, how much time's going by your kids. Because it's like, you realize your kid was 1, and all of a sudden he's 10, and he's 18, and he's in college. He's like, when you have kids, it kind of ages you faster because you see time progression. You see the time progress throughout your kids. And my dad was telling me this. I'm like, you're right, kind of in a way, because like, dude, if I had a regular 9 to 5 office job, and I was working with adults all the time and watching them age, and then knowing they're having kids, getting married, and then watching, and then you would realize like how fast time is going, not because you have a kid, but it'd be through osmosis. It'd be hearing about their kids and being like, man, this kid is already blah blah. You know, for me, it doesn't happen because like, yeah, I work with a bunch of young kids, right? But like, they go off. I don't ever see them again. They'll go to college and do their own thing. I might see them in passing once in a while, but once they leave the job I'm at, I rarely see them again. So for me, I don't really notice that time is lapsing by. Really, I really don't. I know that sounds weird, but it's I don't know. It's hard to explain. You ask the guys I work with. I've worked with this kid who started. He was 15. He's 20 now. And he'll be like, dude, you you look the same when I first started here. Like, yeah, dude, because I hung. It's like, 'cause I work with a bunch of young kids all the time, man. I'm telling you, man. A young heart and a young mind will keep you young. It really will. Because most people don't do that. Most people, have regular 9 to 5 jobs. They sit with older people all the time, and they're like, "Oh, who's gonna retire? Oh, you have a kid? Oh, you just had a kid," and stuff like that. So it's like, in your head, you're kind of like realizing how fast time's going through osmosis to your coworkers, I guess, kind of. But most of my coworkers are 16 through 27, so it's like, okay, you're going to college, cool. Like the big difference between your coworker going to college for the first time or your coworker retiring after working at the factory for 30 years. That's a little big of a difference. Someone's life has just started and someone's life is coming to an end. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I'm just laughing because I kind of just realized that fact. That's kind of funny that like when people leave my work, it's like because they're going to college or doing something else. But if I had regular 9 to 5, 9 to 5er, people that would be leaving work for good would be retiring. That's kind of funny to think about. I just thought about that. It's hysterical. I like it though. What are we gonna do today on stream? Well, we're about to pull some YouTube here in a second, I believe. Pull some YouTube up and see what is good on the tubes. I think I got a couple of videos, maybe one or two that I want to watch. Definitely one that I want to watch about. But again, YouTube's funny though. What you watch on stream, YouTube will just shut your stream down out of nowhere if it doesn't like what you're watching. But I feel like on Twitch, you can watch anything on stream. They won't and they won't interrupt your stream. I feel like Twitch doesn't care what you watch on it, but YouTube does. That makes sense. 'Cause, like I watched some stuff on stream on YouTube before where it's like it gets taken down or interrupted. It's like, why are you guys taking this? stream down for, man. Like I think I was watching a documentary about nuns in the Appalachian Mountains or something like that, and my stream got interrupted for copyright infringement. When it's like, dude, this the YouTube channel I was watching was not like CNN or. I know for a fact you can't watch 60 Minutes on YouTube though. I know that for a fact. I learned that the hard way. I was watching. What was I watching on here? I think I was watching like a 60-minute interview with Jared Kushner, and my stream got interrupted for copyright because you can't watch 60-minute clips on YouTube. I guess I don't know. It's a hard lesson. Learn that the hard way. That's I've learned that the hard way. That's a good way to put things. If someone told you they they learned something the hard way, they definitely learned their lesson for sure. um, I've learned a lot of lessons the hard way. Trust me, that's the only way I learn, which is kind of not good. That comes from my stubbornness, though. That comes from me being stubborn a lot and not wanting to listen to other people and not taking other people's advice because I think I know better or I can do better. So I can be pretty stubborn, which isn't good. But the first the first step is admitting that you know you have a problem. I know I'm stubborn sometimes. So, but it's just like I don't know, man. Like last night, I was laying in bed last night, man. It's like, dude, I just feel like I could like help people and heal people, man. Just by like talking to them or being with them or just I don't know, but it's like I don't know how to even like go about that or even start doing those kind of things, you know? Like I don't know, but like I feel like I could. Like I feel like I'm not saying I'm not a perfect person. I'm not saying that, but um, I strive to be my better self. I know that. I don't give up. I keep pushing. I keep fighting. I don't stay down. I always try to be a better me. I've been knocked down so many times in my life. I've lost count. But I'm still here. I'm still standing. Still breathing. I got scars to prove it. You know, I got scars to prove how much I've been kicked around. Don't tell me like don't you know. I hate when people or I don't like when people are like um tell people they don't know what struggle is or that they don't know what hardship is or what blah blah blah. It's like, dude, you don't know who people are, man. You can't say that about people, man. You know, just because I have a house and all the and you know these things my and looks nice, whatever. It's like, dude, you don't know what I've been through, man. I've struggled. I've gone through addiction. I've lost family. So don't sit here and tell me I don't know about hardships in life. My my dad might have money, but he really hasn't helped me. He's very old school, man. My dad's very old school, very make your own way type man, you know. He won't help me unless I absolutely need it. He knows it. Then he'll help me. But if I don't absolutely need the help, he won't help me. I do not like asking my dad for help either. I do not like it one bit. I hate asking him for help. I've only done it like 2 times and I hate it. It was embarrassing to me to ask my dad for help. It was embarrassing to me. I'm a grown man. I shouldn't you know what I mean? Like it was embarrassing. And my dad used to tell me all the time in high school, you know, Justin, your mother and I aren't gonna be around forever. You know, you're sorry. My dad would tell me all the time, Justin, your mother and I aren't gonna be around forever. Forever. You have to learn how to do things on your own and how to survive on your own. Because once we're gone, we're gone. You know, and he's right. Like it's not him like trying. It's not him being like mean or whatever. But he's right, dude. It's like once your parents are dead, they're dead. They're not coming back. And if you don't know how to live and survive on your own, then how are you gonna do that when they're gone? If they're always babying you, and always doing things for you and always helping you out when you need help and like all those things. Like when they're gone, what are you gonna do? You're gonna have a hard time. My dad's always had that kind of mindset, like trying to prepare me for when he's gone, to actually be able to live life and survive on my own, which I'm not mad about. I'm not gonna, he's not wrong. A man should be able to stand on his own too, without anyone helping him. I'm not saying, don't help people in need, obviously, but it's like there's a way of like helping people, and then there's a way of like babying and like cuddling people. I want to say there's a big difference between helping and like cuddling people. I feel like a lot of people don't help people. They kind of like do it for them or they cuddle them. I think people get like accustomed and used to that, and then people expect that throughout their whole lives, and they have troubles or hardships, whatever. They don't know how to do anything from them. They don't know how to do anything from themselves, so they depend on people to do it for them, because no one's ever like truly helped them. Well, the Bible, give a man a fish he eats for a day, teach a man how fish he eats for life. Type thing. Cool. I can give you $100 to help pay your bill, whatever. Or, I could give someone $100 too, and then teach them how to like, spend money and save money and all those things. Also, it's like, do you want to give someone the $100, or do you want to teach someone and give them the tools on how to like accumulate money and save money and how to spend wisely and things and living with and living within your means. I'm gonna start. One of my mantras right now is, take what you need, take what you need, not what you want. That's one of my mantras I'm living life by now. Take what you need, not what you want. Stop being greedy. Stop taking more than you need. That helps no one. Definitely doesn't help the world. It doesn't. Hey, listen. Listen, I don't care. I'll speak the truth. I'll tell you my life story. I'm an open book. I have nothing to hide. Um, I could sit here and eat a whole pizza to myself if I wanted to. I could probably eat two. Like, if I really wanted to, I'm not even kidding. I could probably eat 1.5 pizzas by myself if I really wanted to. You know, that's it. That's again, that would be like a want. You know, not a need. I really only need like 1 or 2 slices to be full. If I wanted to, I could eat a pizza and a half. So take what you need, not what you want. This Thanksgiving, when you wait in line to make your plate, take what you need, not what you want. And then if you're still hungry, go back for seconds and grab some more. Just don't. That's how a lot of waste comes about, man. That's like a prime example is like when people eat and they load up their plate with all that food, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I'm so full right now, I can't eat another bite, and they still have like a half plate of food left. And what they do? Throw it all in the trash. Right in the trash it goes. Well, if you took what you needed in the first place, we wouldn't have wasted all this food. Because then you could have got from the table and got a little more if you were still hungry. Yeah, it's true though. Because that way too, it's like you're not really learning. Like, listen, I own money. I'm in debt right now, right? Like I'm in debt right now for, I don't know. I don't owe that much. It's like I owe like $3,000, $4,000 in credit cards, whatever. I think like 4K credit cards I owe right now. I'm paying it off. I'm not saying like I'm in debt, but but obviously it's debt because I still owe the credit card company $4,000. I'm paying it, but it's not like. Anyways, that's beyond the point. Um, if there was like 20,000, and someone's like, here, take, here's 20,000, take what you want, or whatever. I don't know how to put this analogy. I'm trying to think real quick. If I owe I'm trying to think of an analogy to like, uh, man, if I owe $4,000 in credit cards, and then I would only, if someone was like, how much money would help you in that kind of situation, I would only choose the $4,000 to pay off my debt because it's like, one, if I told a person, well, I have 4,000 in credit card debt, so give me 20. Well, it's like then like I would probably just spend the rest of that 16K and just on nonsense because it's like I'm not really I really wouldn't be learning any lessons if someone just did that for me. I would rather take the 4K, pay off what I owe, and then try to learn how to grow money from zero because I wouldn't have to like be so stressed out about like the bills and stuff like that, whatever. And then I could start fresh and learn how to save money or invest money, and I would have, my paychecks would be, well, my money would be more liquid to be able to do those kind of things. Right now, my money isn't liquid because I got bills to pay. I'm 4K in credit card debt. I got house payment. I got bills, internet. I got to feed myself. I got to put gas in my car. I got to do all these things. So it's like my money really isn't as liquid because of those things. But if I didn't have any of those debts, whatever, and stuff like that, my money would be more liquid, and I could learn how to invest more. I could learn how to do other things to grow money because you really can't save money. You have to grow money. You can't save it. You have to grow it. The reason why you can't save money is for the fact that inflation and just inflation alone is going to eat your money up. And then like you're always going to have something pop up, oh, I got a flat tire, or oh, I need to go to the hospital. I have a cold, or whatever it may be. I broke my wrist, or whatever. Like there's always life problems that are going to come up to that are going to take from your savings. So it's like you can never really save money. You have to grow it. You have to grow money and then farm it. You have to farm money basically is what you have to do. You have to plant. You have to plant a so-called money tree. I would say whatever that may be. Investing in stocks, starting a company, start reselling. You take $5 and you grow up to 10. You know what I mean? Like you have to grow money. I resell on the side when I can. So I'll go around shop. I'm buying something for $1, selling it for $3 or $4. So I'm growing. I'm growing my $1 to $4. You know, can't save money. It's impossible. That's why people always buy stuff. That's why people always buy stuff in bulk, or they buy stuff and hoard it. It's because when you buy like dry goods, like laundry detergent, soap, shampoo, and all those things that are on sale all the time, whatever, you start buying that kind of stuff, it kind of beats inflation and helps you save money because you're buying stuff on sale. So like if you have, if laundry detergent one weekend is $6 off than it usually is, well you might as well buy three of them. Even though it might hurt you now, it will save you in the long run from inflation. That's why people always stock up on dry good groceries and like hoard those kind of things, is to help save money and beat inflation prices. People have been doing that forever. It's kind of like the same thing with cooking too. Cooking's the same thing. Once I one day I realized like cooking in the United States is all about like saving money. It's about taking cheap cuts of meat or a cheap vegetable or whatever it may be, and then stretching it out and making it taste good, and then selling to people or feeding it to your family. You know, dude, country fried steak. You get like a you get like a small chicken thigh and you pound it out to make it look way bigger than it is. So you start with something, I can't even like, do it. But you start something out this small and you pound it out with a hammer and it comes like this big, and then you bread it. So like you're taking something super tiny and then you stretch it out bigger and you fluff it up and then you sell it for, but you sell it in a way where you're not like gouging the prices to hurt people. You're selling enough to make a little profit, but also it's cheap enough where people also won't hurt their pocket. That's the whole point of having a restaurant in the first place. It's just really hard to do these days because food is super expensive. You always gotta be look. You always gotta be. That's why food and stuff like that have like fads and stuff like that. So it's like someone will find something like a cheap cut of meat that no one knows what it is, and it's super cheap because no one likes it. And all of a sudden, they'll start making recipes with it and start making things with it, and all of a sudden, before you know it, it's popular, and they raise the price of it because everyone wants it. But that's greed, though. That's like, you know, I think the closest example I could think of that would be, hmm, I don't know. I worked in restaurants. I've worked in restaurants my whole life. So I'm trying to think of an example of like a fish that I know that wasn't popular, that became popular, or a meat that became popular. But you get my point. I know in the 80s, like in the 80s, Delmonico steaks are really popular. They're not super popular anymore, so they're really cheap, I think. But like back in the day, Delmonico steaks were really popular. What's a Delmonico steak, you ask? Funny you should ask. Oh no, that had not. Yeah, Delmonico steak. What is a Delmonico steak? This is real. Yeah, they're really. I mean, Delmonico steaks used to be really cheap back in the day. Well, right now they're $30 a piece, but back then when because they got more popular, but back in the back when we were serving these dude, like they were really cheap. That's why we used to get them all the time in the restaurant because it was like the cheapest steak you could get because no one really liked them anymore. Because it was like an 80s steak and no one really liked it. So we used to always get the Monaco's in at work. That's how I know about that because they used to be super cheap. I think back when we were getting them, they're like $12 a piece. I think. But obviously they got a little more popular again. Yeah, but like I said, man, that's kind of what cooking is. It's kind of like taking cheap stuff, stretching it out to feed people. That's all it is. It's what and making it taste good. Smash burgers the same thing. Take a small a small beef ball, and you smash it and make it look bigger than it actually is. You're stretching it out. Stretch it out, you know? Stretch your money out. Grow money and stretch it and stretch the money you have out, I guess would be like the main thing you have to do. Like when I go shopping at the stores, when I go shopping for myself, but I go shopping every day to the store and I only buy what I need for that day. So like today I won't go because I work at 12 today, so I don't need anything from the store today. I don't need to make myself lunch. I only eat one time a day, and that's usually around like 1 o'clock noon. I only eat once a day. Um, and that's usually a pound of beef with some marinara sauce. That's all I eat. And that's all I eat, really. Maybe I'll have popcorn or something like that, but like I'm not sitting here munching on Doritos 24/7 or Cheez-Its or Triscuits or eating Oreos, eating ice cream, frozen pizzas, hot pockets, all those things. I don't touch any of that stuff. I used to, not anymore though. I think I know better now. I think when you know better and you still do it, I think that's when it eats you up. It's like because you know better, you shouldn't be doing it. I know as a grown man, I shouldn't be going to the store and eating Oreos. I know better. There's no nutrition in that. There's nothing good coming out of that for me. It's more so of like me wanting to feel happy, I guess, because like, oh yeah, sweet Oreos with some milk, you know, and it's like a whole memory. It's like a memory childhood trap thing, you know. Same thing with like, dude, like peanut butter Twix. Dude, my nana used to have peanut butter Twix. Man, she used to give this to us as like, uh, as kids, dude. And man, that's like a nostalgia thing for me, and that's why I feel like a lot of those things kind of are like that, where it's like as an adult, you know better. As an adult, you know better, but it's more so of like memories and nostalgia and being like, oh, my parents, me and my grandpa used to used to eat Oreos and milk, and when you have Oreos and milk, it reminds you of your grandpa, or whatever it may be. That's just an example, whatever it may be. But then again, after you get done doing it, it's like, after the memory and the nostalgia wears off, you're like, I shouldn't have done that, because you know better. You shouldn't eat a whole sleeve of Oreos by yourself in your 30s. Come on, you know better than that. You're an adult. Act like one. You're an adult. Act like one. It's true though. Um, yeah. Okay, I almost time for an hour now. I can keep on going on though. There's not. I'm just talking to myself at this point. There's no. There's not even one. There's not even anyone in the live chat or in the stream or nothing. I'm just literally rambling on to myself. I don't care though. So I'm gonna clip this out anyway. So why would I care? Like this is about to get clipped out and shipped out and sent out, man. So it's like either way. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I forgot to do that. I didn't want to put my shoot. I also feel like YouTube kind of does things based on like your descriptions and your hashtags, whether they push it or not. You know, I forgot about that one too. I feel like they push they hit your live streams up with like um why would you uh but jeez, dude. Um but yeah, let's let's start on YouTube. Let's see if we can get on YouTube today, shall we? I mean, I think the stream's going. I think the stream's going good so far, man. I thought we had. I think I hit on a lot of good points today. This morning conversation from take what you need, not what you want. Analogies to love is the ultimate answer to the end of time. Always will be. It never will fade. Love is the ultimate answer. It really is. I kind of want to start reading. Oh yeah, I want to do my daily devotional too. I forgot. I haven't done this in a while. I was doing it for a long time, and I stopped doing it again. But I want to pick it back up here. So and we'll say, well, shoot. Actually, I want to do two things every morning. I want to say a prayer of the Saints prayer book every morning before stream, and I also want to do my thing on here just so you get to know me better, kind of. And but we'll do this. Um, yeah, dude. Prayers Prayers of the Saints. It's a good one. So, but I have it bookmarked. I have bookmarked. Saint Saint Ignace of Loyola, Loyal, the founder of the Jesuits. Saint Ignace of Loyola intended to become a soldier until a cannonball shattered both his legs and his dream of any illustrious army career. A man of great determination and self-control, he had his broken leg rebroken. Oof. He had his broken leg rebroken and reset not once but twice without benefit of anesthesia. Oh my goodness, dude. Saint Ignace, straightforward, almost militaristic style is evident in his forthright prayers. Receive, Lord, all my liberty, my memory, my understanding, and my whole will. You have given me all that I have, all that I am, and I surrender all to your divine will. That you dispose of me, give me only your love and your grace. With this I am rich enough and have no more to ask. Dearest Lord, teach me to be generous, teach me to serve you as you deserve, to give and not to count the cost, to fight and not to heed the wounds, to labor and not to seek to rest, to give of myself and not to ask for reward, except the reward of knowing that I'm doing your will. I like that one. That's a good one. He doesn't want a reward. He just wants to know he's doing right. That's all that matters, really, at the end of the day, is where your soul's going. It doesn't matter how much money you make, what kind of job you have, you're married, if you have a kid. It doesn't matter any of that stuff. What matters is where your soul's going to go when you die. That's what matters the most. I think people forget about that. They're not playing the long game of life. They're playing the like instant gratification. It's like the devil. The devil and stuff controls this world right here we living in. That's why it's a test. It's like, it is a test. It's to test your faithfulness to God and to serve Him. That's the test while you're in Satan's control. Like I said about social media pushing certain things and stuff like that, me sitting here reading saints' prayers on stream and talking about it is going to garner nothing. But I don't care. This is what I want to do. I want to sit on stream and read saints' prayers. I don't care who watches it. It doesn't bother me at all. This is not my life. Like me being a streamer isn't, I like to do this for fun. If something comes out of it, something comes out of it. But I'm not putting all my eggs in this basket. This isn't the end all be all. My stream is the end all be all of me. I have a life beyond this. I do things beyond this. So for me, I can sit here and do this kind of thing because this isn't my end all be all. I'm not solely. If your life was solely and all your income and everything you do was solely based around being a streamer or whatever, and you came on stream, like, let's say I quit my job tomorrow, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna stream full time. I'm gonna focus all my energy, all my time on streaming, making content, whatever. And this is the kind of stuff I was making, and nothing was come of it. And all of a sudden, I started playing video games. My views went up, and my subscribers went up, and all those things. I started making money off it. Guess what? This kind of stuff right here would go out the window, and I would only stream video games because I would depend on the system to provide for me and all these things. And I think that's how like a lot of the people get suckered into this kind of thing, is by never put all your eggs in one basket either. That's also something you gotta learn in life. You always want to have options. Never put your eggs in one basket, man. I learned that during COVID, when things went haywire during COVID. That's when my whole life started to change, actually, was when COVID happened. And I realized if this ever happens again, you should. COVID also taught me that you shouldn't rely on anyone, or you shouldn't rely on the government or nothing. You should only rely on yourself, and that's it. You should be able to fully and functionally provide and take care of yourself, and that's it. Health, money, everything. Because during COVID, it's like, if you got sick or had to go to the hospital, good luck. Good luck. But if you stayed healthy the whole time, you worked out and all these things, you ate healthy and stuff like that, and you have nothing to worry about. So I'm also like a firm believer of like you should be fully 100% self-sufficient in life and never rely on anyone or anything to provide for you. Because during COVID, look how quickly everything changed. Because COVID really woke me up. Like it really did. Like even though it woke me up, man. COVID really started my whole health journey, my whole spirit, like, well, my spirit, well, my spiritual journey has been going on since my mom passed away. But yeah, I mean, COVID really changed a lot on how I look at life and how I treat myself, and definitely bettered me for the better. I would say COVID definitely made me a better person. Not gonna lie, health wise, it did. Health wise, it did, and mental wise, it did. Of realizing like you shouldn't really rely on people and things to provide for you. So I took it as a positive, actually, not a negative. It helped me out a lot. And plus, I worked the whole time. It didn't, during COVID, those years during COVID, my life didn't change one bit. Not one bit did my life change. Because you guys all fell for it. Not everyone fell for it, but most people fell for it. They're going to stop all of us? Come on. November 17th, we were reading, this is so you get to know me a little better. We're reading A Leader's Heart, 365 Daily Devotional, John Maxwell. November 17th, you're a 10. And when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and saw him and said to him, Zacharias, make haste and come down, for today I must stay at your house. So he made haste and came down and received him joyfully. But when they saw it, they all complained, saying, he has gone to be guest with a man who is a sinner. Then Zacchaeus stood out and said to the Lord, look, Lord, I give half of my goods to the poor, and if I have taken anything from anyone by false accusation, I restore fourfold. And Jesus said to him, today salvation has come to this house. I've never known a positive person yet who didn't love people and try to see the best in them. And one of the most effective ways to help you see the best in others is to do what I call putting a 10 on people's head. Here's what I mean. We all have expectations of others, but we cannot choose whether those expectations are positive or negative. We can think that others are worthless or wonderful. We make the decision to expect the best and actually look for the good instead of the bad. We're seeing them as a 10. The ability to do this is important for a couple reasons. First, we usually see in others what we expect to see. Second, people generally rise to meet our level of expectations. What type of expectations are you placing on others? Well, it's a good question. I mean, listen, I manage kitchens. I manage kitchens for a living. I manage people for a living in kitchens, stuff like that. So, like, my biggest thing I look for people is two things. Do they have a daily routine in their life? Do they have a bedtime? Do they have a bedtime? Do they have a time to get up? And what is their morning routine? Do they go to the gym? Do they have hobbies? What else do they do? That, and the second thing I look for too is like if they are not afraid to try something on their own, and if they fail, learn from that mistake, take criticism, and get better. And that's the main thing I look for. And I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. I was training a guy online one time, and he was a young kid, whatever, like 17, and it was a burger with an egg on it, and without me watching, he started to fry an egg, you know, And it obviously it didn't turn out the way it should have turned out. The yolk broke and it stuck to the flat top and everything. And I wasn't mad at him. I wasn't mad at him that he wasted an egg. I was more impressed that he actually took the initiative to do it himself without asking how to do it. And then not afraid of the consequences of what's going to happen afterwards and learn from the mistake. And then, I said to him, I was like, hey, man, next time you don't know how to do something, just ask. I'll teach you. And this is how you do it. And I showed him how to make the egg, so you got to put butter down the flat top first to make sure it doesn't stick. And then all these things. And he's like, all right, man, thanks, dude. And then I was like, all right, another burger with egg. I was like, all right, now show me. And I watched him do it. And he did it fine. It's like, that's an example of someone taking initiative on their own, and even though they messed up, they took criticism, learned from their mistake, and moved on from it. They didn't dwell on it. They didn't call me an asshole for being like, hey, what are you doing? They didn't yell at me for being like, hey, this is how you do it. Because a lot of people in life, like, that happens, like, this and this is how you tell, and this is how you judge people. It's like another person, right, would have done the same thing. If I told them, like, hey, you're doing it wrong, this is how you do it, they probably would have mocked me and be like, what do you know? Or been like, that guy's an asshole, thinking he's better than me because he can cook an egg, blah blah. You gotta think, some people do think like that. You know what I mean? It's like, I always look for people that have routines and aren't willing to try to make mistakes and learn from them. I think that's a big thing. Is like willing to try, and if you mess up, learn from your mistakes and you move on from it. You don't dwell on it. You don't beat yourself up on it. You just go from it. So those are the things I kind of look for in people when I'm doing my thing at work. All right. Like I said, I'm not sure what I want to do after I get in talking too. It's like, I like talking so much. I can talk for 2 hours. But that's when it really just happened. What's this play about?
Oh my god, it finally happened. We really actually got the announcers stumbling over their words, silent even, in disbelief due to a punt, and what a punt it was. Let me give you some context. We're at the Seahawks-Rams game, and the Seahawks were going to be telling two stories while the Rams told a third. All the Seattle chips were in one basket, a basket belonging to Jason Myers, who was their entire offense. He opened the game with not one, two, but 4 field goals, just piping them from all around. As the second part of the story was Sam Darnold trying to be half as relevant as Myers, but instead opening a god-dang charity football giveaway extravaganza to the tune of 4 interceptions, one for each of Jason Myers' kicks, as it was nothing short of a miracle that we were still in this game in the fourth quarter, as the Rams
4 interceptions
have to rely on their stud of a punter, Ethan Evans, who would have 3 crucial punts in the fourth quarter. He had one calibrating shot landing right on the sideline from the 13-yard line, as he was just trying to find that perfect angle and perfect ball. Then, a little further back, he lays up a 52-yarder to ensure the fair catch at the 16, but alas, the Seahawks used that field position to score, putting the Rams' win percentage in jeopardy, especially as an errant Stafford throw on third down stops the clock and forces a punt from the 49-yard line, calling out the man of the hour. But Ethan had found his marks, and it was time. He just did from 65 yards out. It hits at the 2. It takes the perfect bounce at the quarter-inch mark, the half-centimeter mark. They have to make up marks for how close this is to the goal line without going out, and the announcers are just at a loss for words, stumbling, trying to figure out how to even encapsulate what just happened.
Place the ball in a better spot for that moment. Oh my gosh.
That's a hole-in-one.
It looked like you would have 56 degree from about 110. Look at that. Oh my God. Remember, if it hits the pylon.
And it wasn't just a great punt, but the Seahawks get into somewhat field goal range, and we get to see that this ball, if
okay. How a homeless kid ran his way to the NFL. Well, Mr. Okay. We test popular oh, we did that one already. Gilded States of Wealth and Power Marathon. Which one's this one? Hold on. Nope, this one. Nope. Stop it. How do we organize this where it's like newest first? You can't, I guess. Okay. Well, let's do about time because I want to.
A stopwatch. It measures intervals of time.
Oh yeah, I'm all about old things. Trust me.
System brings you another of its series of programs on science. Man's effort to understand nature's laws.
Here, live, on full color, coming home.
To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven.
Time? What is time? When we try to say what it is, it eludes us. Yet man can measure time with the greatest precision. With his instruments, he can stretch it or compress it. What the scientist knows, what he hopes to know about time, is the fascinating subject we will explore.
Okay, let's do it, baby. About Time, Technicolor, 1962 by N.W. Ayers Sons and Company. Produced under the personal supervision of Jack L. Warren. With Dr. Frank C. Baxter, Les Tremaine, and Richard Deacon. Oh, that is that guy. Hold on a second. Produced and directed by Owen Crump. That guy was in this video that I told you about, in that Trump video.
The idea of time is so much part of our habits that if we're really to look at it,
You know what's crazy?
think about it objectively,
I'm pretty sure this clock back here, my nana had this in her house in the 70s. She had a clock just like this. Her house is straight out of the 70s, like straight out of the 70s. It had like green carpet. She had the glass green grapes. Her wallpapers were green, and then it had like gold felt. It had gold felt stripes down the wallpaper, and you could like it was really weird. You could like run your fingers across the gold felt on the wallpaper of the wall of the house, whatever, and stuff like that. She had that clock on that green. She had this exact same clock hanging up in her living room. Her whole bathroom was pink too. Pink carpet bathroom, pink toilet, pink shower and tub, pink vanity. Crazy, dude. That is the only house I ever seen with carpet in the bathroom was my nana's house, and it was straight out of the 70s. I mean, that house was 70s to the maximum.
perhaps
The aximum.
better create
Would you like to bounce with a burrow that's platinum?
a new atmosphere of thinking. And for a new atmosphere, suppose we take an imaginary trip into the vast universe of stars and planets, galaxies and meteors.
Okay. I have so much energy. I have so much energy right now. It's hard for me to sit still. I'm not gonna lie. I got so much energy right now coming out of me. I want to, dude. It's hard for me to sit here.
Now to set the stage for our story about time, suppose we
I could sit on the
imagine a brand
couch.
new planet.
And post movies online while I watch this too.
We'll give it a name, Planet Q. And the people there,
Can you see me from my
we
couch if I
imagine
move
them,
this?
will
Hold
be
on,
normal,
let's see here.
intelligent people, except for one strange thing. They don't know much about time,
Oh, you can.
and their king would like to set the clock.
And their king would like to set their clock. What is time,
Sir,
sir?
are we ready to set the clock? Very well. Let the clock be set.
Yes, sir.
What time is it?
So where will I
put the hands?
Well, what time is it? If you don't know, find out.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Before we go on with the story, there's one more thing we've imagined here on Planet Q. An observatory. And inside of it, this. We'll call it an Earthscope.
Ooh.
We use it to examine some of the things that people on Earth have found out about time.
An Earthscope.
Come in.
To observe what people found out about time. I like it.
Say, we've run into a little problem. Wonder if you could answer a question? The king wants to know, what time is it?
Oh, yes. What time would he like it to be?
Oh, the correct time. You see, we're setting our clock so that we can do everything on time.
Well, tell him to set it any place he likes.
Thank you. Any place?
That's right. Well, let's see. Suppose we use the Earthscope screen. Bring the Earth into focus. See what time it is down there.
I like the,
Is that the correct time?
how they're doing that.
For London, England.
But what time is it?
They call it noon.
Noon.
That also happens at what they call midnight.
Well, is midnight before or after noon?
12 hours after or 12 hours before. It all depends.
On what?
Whether you're talking about yesterday or tomorrow.
Interesting.
But they had to start somewhere. How did they go about it?
The rhythms of nature probably gave man his first awareness of time. Man must have observed the recurrence of natural phenomena, the movements of the sun, the moon, and the stars. He noticed that these events in the heavens seemed to coincide with events on Earth. The spring and the rains. The summer growth of leaves. The autumn ripening of fruit.
So from like seasons?
He thought the moon, sun, and stars controlled his crops. This was understandable because to him, sun, the moon, and the stars were gods.
Yeah, I guess we really don't need time, really, to think about it.
People began studying the heavenly bodies. As they made notes of their changing positions, the science of calendar making began.
I guess you really don't need time.
Every civilization
Actually.
labored to devise a workable calendar.
I'm not sitting on the couch. I don't like it.
Some of them were based on the
No.
cycles of the moon.
But yeah, I don't think you need time, though. If you think about it,
Others on the movements of the sun.
you could just, like, get up when the sun comes out and just close up shop.
None of them came out just right.
Yeah, it makes sense, actually. You don't need time.
Even the Gregorian calendar, the one used today, is not perfect.
Wouldn't you think by now they'd have a perfect calendar?
Oh, it's not so easy.
Being cheesy.
You see, the time it takes the Earth to rotate on its axis is a day. But the time it takes the Earth to revolve around the sun is a year. But a year comes out to 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes, and 46 seconds.
Oh.
And the problem is what to do with that leftover fraction of a day. That's why they add an extra day every 4 years. Except, of course, when that year falls at the beginning of a century.
Of course.
But they add the extra day every 4th century.
Of course.
Weird.
But it's still off 26 seconds a year.
So they call it a calendar, but it's still off 26 seconds a year.
It's very interesting.
I thought so.
And after we get the clock set, we'll get a calendar. But one thing at a time.
Yes, sir.
Just explain to him
that we need to know the time to eat, to sleep, and so forth. Just any time won't do.
Well, early man didn't regulate his habits to a clock. All animals, including man, and plants too, have a built-in time sense.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Of course, dude.
It's long been considered a wonderful phenomenon of nature that plants seem to know when to flower and set their seeds at just the right time. That furry animals have a way of knowing when to change to their heavy coats before the first cold winds of winter. That birds, by some instinct,
Know how to migrate.
just the right time to set out on their long migrations and always bear their young in a season favorable for survival. It was once commonly supposed that these seasonal occurrences are triggered by changes in temperature. But investigations have shown that plants and animals depend mostly on timing mechanisms within themselves. Internal clocks.
Internal clocks?
That's right. Interested?
Fascinated.
Yes.
This clock, or biological timer, determines the seasons by the changing lengths of day and night, particularly the periods of darkness.
Darkness?
Yes. Here is Dr. Anton Lang, plant physiologist and director of Earhart Laboratory, who has been experimenting with the timing mechanism of the cockleburr plant.
Yes, my favorite kind of plant.
Flowering cockleburr
The cocklebarrel.
needs about 8 1/2 hours of continuous darkness to flower. As autumn comes, the nights get longer. When they get long enough for the plant's timer to tick off 8 1/2 hours of darkness, the flowering begins.
If the nights get longer, that means the days get shorter. But how did they know it wasn't the short days that did it?
Well, they didn't. So they conducted a series of experiments under artificial light. They simulated various proportions of night and day. And from these experiments, scientists proved that it is the darkness that the cockleburr plants measure.
And all plants and animals have one of these internal clocks?
Interesting.
Well,
So
some plants and animals have another kind of.
so the animals base time off plants that are blooming in the wild and things that are happening in the wild. That's interesting. That's pretty interesting, actually.
Timing mechanism. This one doesn't measure darkness or.
That makes sense though. Like animals base time and seasons on the plants and things that are growing around them. Yeah, it makes sense. Pretty self-aware though, be able to stuff like that, but I understand. I'm putting a hoodie on because it's getting chilly in here, so one sec, hold on. And I just want you to know I found a reason for me to change who I used to be. And the reason is you. All right, we're back.
Any apparent outside influence. It regulates the activities of the plants and animals by time periods alone. Bean plants, for example,
That's,
have this kind of continuous clock. They raise or lower their leaves without much regard to temperature, light, or darkness. Some animals, like the hamster, also have a continuous clock. The hamster's daily cycle is broken into definite periods. A period for eating, a period for sleeping, exercising. His clock continues to run, to regulate his cycles, even though he lives in continuous darkness or continuous light. Practically every kind of living organism seems to have some sort of built-in time sense.
Interesting.
Scientists all over the world are trying to find out how internal clocks work. When they do find out, it may mean that the cycles of plants and animals can be controlled.
No, no,
Producing more food,
no,
more clothing,
no,
more shelter.
no.
That's quite incredible.
Yeah,
But one thing
great stuff,
puzzles
dude.
me.
Way to control
If
nature.
man has a built-in clock like those plants and animals, why did he need other clocks?
He found that his internal time sense was not adequate for his needs, which are far more complicated than those of plants and animals. Man had to find other means of measuring intervals of time.
So he invented a clock.
Well, a type of clock. Yes. Actually, he stuck a stick in the ground and told time by the moving shadow. This became the basis of the sundial. The Egyptians developed a clock that measured time with dripping water.
Huh.
And there were other clocks that
Hold on,
measured
how'd that
time
work?
with flowing sand. None of these early timekeepers could measure small intervals of time with any accuracy. In 1583, Galileo made a discovery which proved to be the first big advance in accurate timekeeping. As he watched a swinging lamp suspended by a long chain in the Cathedral of Pisa, he noticed, by counting his pulse beats, that each swing took the same time. So Galileo proposed using a pendulum as the basis for a clock. To keep the pendulum swinging steadily, the
No
Dutch
way.
scientist Christian Huygens devised a mechanism inside a clock that gave the pendulum a little push at the end of each swing. This same mechanism also turned the hands on the clock face, counting
Interesting.
the number of swings. It was the world's first pendulum clock, the grandfather of all grandfather clocks, and the grandfather of all our best timing methods.
And that's why it's called a grandfather clock. Interesting.
For in order to measure time, you need something that will give you a constantly repeating
Rhythm.
movement, a rhythm, and then count the movements.
Fascinating.
The more precisely these movements repeat themselves, the more
Accurate,
your
yeah.
measurement of time.
I don't care about bean plants, cockleburrs, and pendulums. Where do we set the clock?
The man in the observatory says we...
I'll find out for myself what he says.
I didn't know that. That's about the grandfather clock. That was based off the human pulse, and the counting of the human pulse. Yeah, your internal clock. Yeah, that's what
What
they.
a piece of
That's what.
machinery,
That's
isn't
what they say your internal clock for.
Yes, it is. What is it?
A hairspring and balance wheel of a watch in slow motion.
Oh,
A sort of portable pendulum. Real pendulums work only when they hang straight down, so they're no good for watches or portable clocks. But this mechanism gives a constant rhythm in any position. At each turn of the balance wheel, the escapement mechanism releases the locking of an escapement lever, ticking off the constant rhythm you need to measure time. The first watches were pretty, but not very accurate.
Whoa, what was that? Oh, that's a cool one.
Then, as the old world began to expand across the seas,
The old world.
timekeeping became really important.
Hold
You
on.
see, without accurate
Ah.
timepieces,
Get out of here.
navigation was a problem.
I just checked the sun's position and found out that it's 12 o'clock.
Dude, can I get... What is this? You gotta realize this is what you don't realize. When you watch stuff like this, this is like, is that a real map they're showing? And if so, what map is this from? Where's that? Where's this? It looks like a real map to me. What's that map about? Oh, it's the drawing. But these two right here look real.
Then, as the old world began to expand across the
Yeah, the old world.
seas, accurate timekeeping became really important. You see, without accurate timepieces, navigation was a problem.
That's fake though. I got that misconstrued.
The sun's position and found out that it's 12 o'clock here. By this watch I've carried ever since we left England a month ago, it's 9 o'clock in Greenwich. So, our position is 3 hours or 45 degrees east of Greenwich.
Where does that put us?
In Baghdad, sir.
Baghdad?
Watches just weren't accurate enough to keep exact Greenwich time on a long voyage. In 1761, after years of experimenting, an English clockmaker, John Harrison, developed the first really accurate portable timekeeper. It was off less than 2 minutes after a 5-month voyage. The accuracy of the ship's clock, or chronometer as it's now called, enabled man to navigate any waters and encouraged sailors to explore the seas all over the earth. Although now ships can get Greenwich time by radio, all navigation today still depends on knowing what time it is.
Well, now, that's the same problem we're having, knowing what time it is. I don't suppose you'd care to explain how they set their clocks.
On Earth, I'd be delighted.
Oh, good.
Well, what clock keeps the real?
All clocks are set by radio signals.
Really?
In the Western Hemisphere, these come from the United States Naval Observatory, where signals are broadcast accurate to within 1,000th of a second. From such radio signals broadcast from various observatories, the clocks of the world are set.
But where do the radio signals get their time from?
From the official timekeepers. Special clocks regulated by quartz crystals.
Quartz crystal?
What?
Well, what's wrong with pendulums and those other things?
Balance wheels, they aren't accurate enough. Their rates affected by wear, movement, air currents, and temperature. Quartz crystals are less subject to these influences, but they give us repetitive movement, just like the pendulum and the rotating balance wheel. To the eye, quartz crystals seem inert, but actually, under the influence of an electric current, they vibrate, measuring out tiny and precise slices of time.
Interesting.
These vibrations are added up by electronic circuits into seconds, minutes, and hours. Some quartz crystal clocks have a maximum error of 1/100,000th of a second per day.
Well, that's certainly accurate. But if clocks are set by radio signals, and radio signals are set by quartz crystal clocks, how do they set the quartz crystal clocks?
By the master clock, which is the turning Earth itself. Every night when the sky is clear, United States Naval Observatory astronomers photograph stars through a fixed vertical telescope. From this, they determine the precise instant when the observatory passes directly under a particular star. The next night, they note again what time they pass under that particular star.
Huh?
Positions of the multiple exposures on the star plate are then carefully and accurately measured. Information is turned over to the electronic calculator.
The electronic calculator? What is that thing? Bro.
And the result is the true determination of time.
What? What?
Based on these readings, they're able to find the
Yo, what?
time.
That what? I am huh?
That it takes the Earth to make one rotation. The official clocks are compared to this, and their rates are calibrated. Come in.
Man, I learned a lot about time today.
Ah, you're just in time. I have come to a decision. We'll set our clock by the Earth, the perfect timekeeper.
Well, not perfect.
What do you mean by that?
The Earth is gradually running down.
Running down? I refuse to accept that.
But it's true. Friction is the main force that's slowing down the Earth.
Where
Friction.
does the Earth get its friction?
From tides. These tidal bores in the Bay of Fundy are good examples. Friction from tides in the shallower seas is gradually slowing down the Earth.
Really?
Slowing down. If we can't trust the Earth, what can we trust?
Well, the scientists themselves are not satisfied with the Earth as a clock. Now they're working on an atomic clock. A clock based on the cesium atom has been developed at the National Bureau of Standards in Boulder, Colorado. This clock keeps time by counting motions inside the atom.
Jeez.
As the nucleus
Yo, what
spins, its axis swings back and forth, and the swings are detected electrically and counted. The motions of atoms are more regular than those of pendulums, balance wheels, the Earth, and even of quartz crystals. And it's likely their regularity will continue as long as matter exists. This clock is believed to have a maximum error of 1 second in 3,000 years.
Jeez.
Well, that's accuracy.
Sir, it occurs to me,
Yeah?
well, I don't think it would make much difference to anybody if they did lose a second or two now and then.
Well, everyone depends on accurate timing, whether they're aware of it or not. For example, with quartz crystals, it's the precisely controlled number of vibrations per second that determines the kilocycle and megacycle channels used in broadcasting, television, in multiplex, where many messages travel a single cable or travel a radio relay beam. Accurate timing of electrical impulses is the heart of all communication systems. An even greater accuracy in timing is needed by scientists who are constantly trying to get a more complete and accurate understanding of the physical universe. And today, the quantity
Of the
that can be
physical
measured more
universe.
accurately than anything else is time.
Well, I suppose such accuracy is important to a scientist and engineers.
But still, 1 little second doesn't seem so important. Really?
Oh, a second is important. Take a look.
9 3/10 seconds.
What kind of a clock was that?
A stopwatch. It measures intervals of time down to 1/10 of a second. Of course, it's not very practical when you're trying to measure 1/millionth of a second.
But who'd want to measure 1/millionth of a second?
Yeah, who?
Scientists, engineers,
The government?
technicians, anyone who deals with things moving at high speed.
What kind of a clock would they use for that?
Usually a cathode ray oscilloscope.
Never heard of it.
Never have I.
Basically, it's much like a TV picture tube, but it's used differently.
Oh.
The beam of electrons
That's what
sweeps
those things
across
are.
the screen over and over again in the same track. Now, if we connect, say, a microphone, sound will jog the beam and make a jog in the trace, like this. The ticks of a watch put time markers on the sweep, 5 to the second. When we speed up the sweep, the time between ticks is stretched out to full screen. Speeding up the sweep still more, and using an electronic timer, we can put on markers of 1/100th of a second or less. and measure the speed of a bullet as it cuts two wires only a foot apart. Let's take another look and stop the picture. The interval between the two vertical lines we've drawn here represents the time it took for the bullet to break the two wires.
Gotcha.
How long was that? 1,000th of a second. That's really quite a long time. A radar scope with even faster sweeps tells how long it takes for a radar signal to strike an object and bounce back. That tells you your distance from the object. Or you can time signals from 3 LORAN stations operated by the United States Coast Guard. By comparing them, adjusting the traces so they will coincide, know your exact position. By putting markers on a very fast sweep, scientists find it easy to measure intervals of 1/1000th of a second.
Well, that's not too bad, is it?
Do you have any idea how short a time that is?
Do you?
1/1000th of a second?
Actually, I don't.
Neither do I.
Well, 1/1000th of a second has the same relationship to 1 second as 1 second has to 35 years.
1 second to 35 years.
Damn.
Yes. Now I see how small that figure is.
And even 1/1000th of a second is long compared to the much shorter times that scientists have to deal with. Although the atomic world that makes up this drop of water is still hidden from the eyes of man, we know a good deal about how these bits of matter behave, how they move, and in how short a time. In this drop of water, there's a vast number of atoms in constant motion, and just one of these atoms will have 10,000 collisions in 1/1000th of a second. And in the time between each of these collisions, the outside electrons of the atoms would go around 100 times. And in the time it takes an outside electron to go around just once, the inside electrons would go around 100 times. And in the time it takes the inside electron to go around just once, the particles in the nucleus of the atom would vibrate 100,000 times. These are the tiny intervals that scientists must try to measure.
Weird. That's, man, that's, reputation at stake. Special bonus video for channel members. The story of a great day. A victory in the air. The county fair. Simple effects for cinema. Cigarettes hazard to health. You can change the world.
Well, maybe more than a handful.
I mean, just that, a handful. 1% is nothing more.
All right, let's try. Let's do it. You can change the world. 1950, the Christopher movement with Jack Benny and Rochester, whatever. I don't know. Ooh, baby. That's lemony. Woo! Like straight lemon. Holy cow, dude. That was very lemon, like. Almost too much.
Hello, Miss Loretta Young? Mr. Bentley's having some people over here at the house tonight, and he'd like to know if you would come. Uh-oh. Miss Young, Mr. Bentley told me to tell you that would be after dinner. That's right. Bye-bye.
I need an old rotary phone in my house.
Miss Irene Dunn?
I miss
This is
those.
Rochester over at Mr. Bentley's house. He'd like to know if you could come over tonight. He told me to be sure to tell you that that's... Oh, that's right. I forgot. You've been here before. Goodbye. Cigarette, anyone?
Thanks, Paul.
There aren't any.
Oh, that's our Jack.
Mm-hmm. Here you are, Bill.
Thank you. Well, hello, everybody.
A cigarette, anyone? Yeah, let's just...
Everybody comfortable?
Yes, sure.
That's funny.
Cigarette?
That's funny. People come over and the first thing you do is offer them cigarettes. I love it, dude. That's hysterical. Cigarette? Anyone? Cigarette? Can you imagine you walk people's houses days and the first thing they do is offer you a cigarette? You'd be like, what world do I live in? I like it. It's funny.
Oh, thank you. Now, the reason I asked you all over here is because I want you to meet Father James Keller, who is coming by in just a few minutes, and he wants to talk to you about making a movie. Now, I know that everybody in Hollywood wants to make a movie, but this fellow happens to have a very good idea for one. You see, Father Keller is the head of the Christophers. Now, as some of you may know, the main idea behind this movement is to encourage more good, decent, normal people to take up careers that strongly affect the fate of this country. Like education, government, labor management, and in the fields of writing, like newspapers, books, magazines, motion pictures, radio, and television. Now,
Didn't she
I know
sit
this
on
is
the
a pretty
couch
big
wrong?
order, but the Christopher movement has been sweeping the country. So much so that it has reached a point where Father Keller has been able to cover only a small portion of the invitations for talks on the Christophers. And he thinks that a picture explaining the idea would be a good substitute for a talk.
I think it's a good idea.
I think it's an excellent idea, don't you?
Father Keller.
Oh, hello, Father.
Hello, Father.
I suppose Jack told you that the chief purpose of the Christophers is to get more people of high purpose into the vital fields that affect, for better or for worse, the lives of the majority of mankind. The fields of teaching, government, writing, labor, social service, and library work. And Jack mentioned that we were interested in one picture. As a matter of fact, I'd be interested in lots of pictures on the Christopher idea, because I don't know of any medium in which we could reach the millions of people more effectively through the motion pictures.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
And you
At least back then.
Well, you know, I suppose it is a good thing to get into one of those fields, but, Father, it's not quite so easy for young people to get any kind of job these days.
Well, that's just the point, and as long as it is difficult, why not try for a job that counts?
Same old song and dance, huh?
Taking something where you're filling in time between 9 and 5.
Sounds familiar, huh?
Where you're doing something, a job with a purpose.
Oh, a job with a purpose. So you can whistle while you work.
Yes, very good, Ann. That's the way to put it. Whistle while you work.
Yeah, whistle while you work.
Really much more than that, too. I'm convinced we're on the brink of the greatest peace the world has ever seen, or the worst disaster.
You make it sound like a matter of life and death, Father.
But, Bill, I really feel it is. Here we are in the greatest country in the world, about the only country left intact. And whether we like it or not, I'm afraid, as America goes, so goes the world.
Why, Father, that's a frightening thought.
Yes, Loretta, but a glorious challenge.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful time to be alive. Just think, a little handful of people can change the whole course of history.
Well, maybe more than a handful.
I mean, just that, a handful. 1% is nothing more than a handful. And just think what that 1% has been doing to mess up the world. And they get in the fields that count.
That's right. You never see any of those, pardon me, Father, chaps out at the ball game selling hot dogs. No, you don't.
You're right you are, Paul. They're in there pitching. Call them what you like, they have one thing in common. They hate the basic truth on which our nation is founded, that every human being is a child of God, that he gets his rights from God, and that the purpose of state is to protect those God-given rights. They, every one of them, get into fields where they can eliminate that truth.
So the purpose of the Christopher movement is to spark enough people to get them into the same fields and work as hard to build as they do to destroy.
Yes, Bill, that's just it. I'm really convinced that we can find enough people who will be fired with a love of God and country, who will gladly get into these vital fields, dedicate their lives, and get into government and teaching and all the rest of these important spheres, and work hard to keep in there that basic truth in which our country is founded. To be for what these other people are against. The number one item is the Declaration of Independence. No, that's not everything, but it's mighty important. I don't think many people realize the close connection that the founders of our country explicitly stated was between God and country. Over and over again, they emphasized that was the cornerstone of our liberty. Then 4 times in the Declaration of Independence, they repeated over and over again that our liberty depends upon God.
That's right.
Do you know the Declaration, Paul?
Naturally. It goes as follows. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bonds which have connected them with another and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them.
Remarkable, Paul. You're one of the first persons I've ever met that know that much of the Declaration.
Yeah, the Declaration, actually, you know what? The Declaration of Independence is pretty interesting because I don't think people realize, like, the Declaration of Independence and, like, could we, as a people, you know, I mean, you know, the Declaration of Independence is pretty interesting the way it says, like, you know, the unanimous declaration of the 13th United States of America, within the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth to separate an equal station to which the laws of nature and the nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the cause which impel them to the separation. We hold to them create equal that they are endowed by the Creator with certain undeniable rights, that among these are life. To secure these rights, governments instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organize its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transit causes, and accordingly all experiences hath shewn that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when long train of abuse and separations pursuing invariably the same objective, despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and provide the new guards of their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of the colonies, and such is now the necessities which constrain them to alter their former system of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries. He refused to assist to the laws he forbidden government. So it's like could we write our own Declaration of Independence then? Could we write a new Declaration of Independence as the people of the United States then? Is that possible? Man. Can we write a new Declaration of Independence then and be like, yeah, well, is that possible?
Something I have here I'd like to show you. Right in the very first sentence of the Declaration, it states very explicitly that all law flows from God. And then there's another reference to God in the very next sentence.
The very next sentence, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights.
Amazing, Paul. And he knows it word for word, too. Here's
Why is
thing
that
about that second reference to God. It wasn't in the first version at all. It's a straight write-in. Here it is, a photostatic copy of the original draft. The first version said, all men are created equal, and from that equal creation, they derive certain inalienable rights. But apparently, they want to emphasize the point still more. So you can see where Jefferson crossed out the phrase, from that equal creation, they derive certain inalienable rights, and wrote in the phrase, they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. Now, that's not the only change that was made in the Declaration. When it was submitted to the first Congress, they made several changes, several deletions, but they insisted on only 2 additions, and both those additions were referenced to God, and they're both in the last paragraph.
The last paragraph.
The last paragraph. We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world.
Very good, Paul. Appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world. That's just the point they want to emphasize. And then again in the last paragraph.
And for the support of this declaration with a firm reliance on divine providence.
Thanks a million, Paul. You were a big help.
No reflection, Paul, but how did you learn all of that?
Yeah, I'd like to know, too.
Well, the teacher used to keep me in after school a lot. I bet I wrote that in the blackboard 5,000 times. I'll say this for the woman, though. She didn't have me writing cat and dog, or Paul was a bad boy. She must have a lot of that Christopher purpose we've been talking about.
You know, that 1%'s a cozy group. All they want to do is tear the heart out of the Declaration.
And that's bad enough, Bill, but they're out to do much more than that. They want to destroy the very pursuit of happiness, the whole reason for being, the joy of living that's come down through 20 centuries of Christianity. And for over 3,000 years, the Jews have carried the sublime truth that man is made in the image and likeness of God, that he has an eternal destiny. And all of this stands out ever so much more clearly when you think of what Adolf Hitler and Karl Marx said about their idea of the worth of the human being. Here are Hitler's words. He said, to the Christian doctrine of the infinite significance of the individual human soul, I oppose with icy clarity the saving doctrine of the nothingness and insignificance of the human being. And Karl Marx put it a slightly different way, but his idea was just the same. He said, the democratic concept of man is false because it is Christian. The democratic concept holds that each man is a sovereign being. This is the illusion, dream, and postulate of Christianity.
Then our position is crystal clear, Father. We say man is a creature of God, responsible to God. That 1% say that man is a nobody.
Yes, just a nobody worth about $1.89, just a bunch of chemicals. And they don't want men to know his sacred worth. And that's why they swarm into every field they can to eliminate every trace of man's dignity. They want to wipe it out.
Spot on, bro.
The face of the earth.
Well, is it correct to say, then, that the Christophers are an anti-communist movement?
No, the problem as we see it is this. It's getting good people in, getting the good citizen to do his part in saving our country and saving the world. And so, the Christopher approach emphasizes the affirmative, the constructive, doing something positive. We say that it's much more important to chase good people in than it is to be too preoccupied chasing evil people out, essential as that is. I don't know how many of you realize it, but according to reliable estimates, 60% of the parents of America don't want their own children to work for their own government. Can you think of any quicker way to wreck any country? Then, on top of that, 1 million teachers are needed in the schools of America. 6,000 little public schools have closed because of lack of teachers.
Wow.
Fewer and fewer parents are encouraging their children to take up writing careers. 17,000 librarians are needed.
They're telling they want them they want them to be like athletes or movie stars or whatever. Watch.
Story of what happened in Germany. Most of the good Germans wanted good government, good education, good everything else. But they didn't want to be bothered. They wanted somebody else to do it. You know the old story. Everybody wanted to eat, but nobody wanted to cook.
We know who wound up doing all the cooking.
Hey-oh.
Yes, Jack, and the world has had indigestion ever since. The Nazis weren't strong in the beginning, but they swarmed into every vital field. The lines were drawn then and the lines are drawn now. We're either for God or against God. If it's the latter, we'll pay the penalty and soon.
William Penn said something along that line about being ruled by tyrants. I remember... He said...
Those who are not governed by God are ruled by tyrants.
Is that what you meant, Irene?
Yes, Father, something like he said was what I meant.
Well, anyhow, that's where the Christopher approach comes in. We feel that something can be done, and soon. As soon as there are more people turning on lights than they're turning them off, there'll be a wonderful change for the better. Just recently, I finished a quick trip around the country. I gave talks in 23 cities, 95 talks, a little over 4 weeks. Every place you go, you find wonderful people, all ready and set to do something to change the world for the better.
Yes, Father, the woods are full of good people. Now all we have to do is get them out of the woods.
Father,
interesting.
You mentioned that you had been all over the country and you met some very fine people. Could you give us an example, for instance, of some constructive thing that has been done?
I certainly can, Loretta. I can give you hundreds of them. But here's one that I think will interest you in particular. I was down in Texas not long ago, and I met this 23-year-old Baptist school teacher. She said she'd read an article about the Christophers in a magazine. And the point that she liked best was its emphasis on what little people can do to change the world for the better. She said, and it was wonderful to hear the way she said it, she said, you know, for the first time in my life did I realize a little person like myself counts. And then she went on to explain that she was teaching in schools. It was hard work and so forth. But she said, most of the girls I know are getting out of the teaching field. They say there's not enough money in it. The pay is too low.
Well, after all, Father, they do have a point. They don't make very much money, do they?
That's right.
Well, there's something
Father, is it even a living wage?
Well, I think for most it is, Loretta. It's a living wage, but for
being
many
within
not,
your means.
That's part of our job to get a better wage for them, too. But this girl had a very fine solution for the present. She said she was going to stay in there teaching. And moreover, and this was an important point, she said, I'm going to become a committee of one and get as many girls as I can to get in the teaching field. It was wonderful to hear her enthusiasm. And then she said, I got my first recruit yesterday.
Father, tell them one about the young fellow in the gas station.
Oh, yes, there's a nice point to that story, Jack. This young Negro student was working his way through college, trying to support his family. He had a job at a filling station. A little bit of prejudice developed, and about 10 or 12 people stopped buying gasoline. The man, or the owner of the station, was quite worried. It was only a small business that he had, and he felt that he had let the man go. Word got around, and this little housewife heard about it, and she felt she should do something. She'd caught this Christopher idea. She should reach out to the world, and here was a specific opportunity. So in a very nice way, she walked down to the station, and asked her if there was anything she could do. And this man was so surprised. He said, well, you're the first one that's offered to do anything. Everybody's complaining. Nobody's doing anything. But she said, how many customers would you lose if you kept him? We said, I don't know, about 20 maybe. She said, if I go out and get you 20 new customers, will you keep them? He said, I certainly will. She went out and got 25 new customers. One of the big magazines picked up the story and carried it to at least 15 million readers.
Wow.
I dare say that maybe 1 million people have done things through her example. She wanted to reach the world. Well, she did reach the world.
Father, I read a story in Reader's Digest about that Russian school teacher, Madame Kasenkina, wasn't that her name? Now, wasn't that in some way connected with the Christophers?
I think that's an ideal story to illustrate what one little person can do. Some time ago, I talked with a young couple who live on a farm in Connecticut about the Christopher idea. This young couple have a wonderful farm, 6 children, and 64 cows. And when I talked about the Christophers to this lady, she said, listen, we got enough to do right here. And furthermore, we're buried off here in the middle of Connecticut. And I said to her, I said, well, I don't care whether you're buried in the middle of Alaska. You can still do something to help the world. The world needs people like you. Well, I thought I'd hear nothing about it. 6 months later, she was sitting at breakfast with her husband and read in the morning paper about this Madame Kasenkina, the Russian school teacher who'd been taken a prisoner. I imagine 100 million people read about it and said, isn't that too bad? And then turned to the want ads or something like that. You know the old story. She turned to her husband. She says, Dan, we can't allow a thing like this to happen in our country. Let's do something about it. He said, fine, I'm with you. Her brother, a young lawyer, came up from New York for a quiet weekend. No sooner does he get in the house than Louise goes right at him. She says, Peter, we must do something to help that poor school teacher. He wants to get out of it. He says, forget it. After all, it's not our business. And she turns to him. She says, it isn't our business? If it isn't our business, whose business is it? Well, he was sparked. He went right through with it. He got a group in New York to help him obtain a subpoena. He carried it himself over to the Russian consulate. He stood across the street wondering how he would ever get in the hands of the Russian consul general. He was standing there hoping and praying for something to happen. Something did happen. Up drove the Russian consul general, steps out of his car, hurries up to the front door, and fortunately left his key inside. And he rang the bell. Meanwhile, Pete saw what was happening. He rushes across the street, and it was quite a job, but he got the subpoena in the hands of the Russian consul general. Well, everything began to happen. The word of this went all over the world by radio. And by a strange course of events, it went right into the room on the 3rd floor of the Russian consulate, where there had been radio left by accident, and here, seated, a prisoner, was this Russian school teacher. She told us afterwards that when she heard her name over the radio, when she looked out and saw hundreds of people milling around outside, she came to just one conclusion. Somebody in America was fighting for her. She didn't know who it was. But it thrilled her so much, she just wanted to jump into America. But how could she do that? She went to the window, and as she looked out, here she was on the 3rd floor. But that wouldn't stop her. Nothing was going to stop her if she could just save her life. Anything. She saw a wire stretched across the courtyard. She felt if she could only hit that, it might break her fall and save her. She jumped. She nearly fell off her hand.
What?
But it broke her fall, and she was very seriously injured. It took her months to recover. But when she did recover, she had only one request, and that was to see the one person who had thought out into the world to help a little person like her.
Oh, Father, that's a marvelous story. And that's what the Christophers can do, huh?
I could tell you thousands of stories
That's
like
crazy.
these. Each one emphasizes over and over again the big things that little people can do. I'm convinced that God will bless any old fool who will try. I don't think he'll bless the smartest person in the world who says it can't be done.
Right.
You know, our forefathers left us a wonderful pattern, a heritage we should cherish. Each one of us can play a part in preserving it. Yes, you and you and you and everybody else can do something to change the world for the better.
Father, you have a customer.
You can count on me too, Father.
I'm in. I think I can speak for everybody.
Why not? You've been doing it all evening. Oh, I really... Father, I think what Paul means is that you don't have to take a vote. You can have a boost from all of us here. Because I really believe that everybody here is thrilled with the idea that all over the country there are people simple enough and wise enough to know that if you don't belong to the human family, you don't belong to anything. Well, in other words, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
That's right, Loretta. Very true.
Father Keller, there's a couple of songwriters here wrote a song they thought maybe you could use. Their names are Johnny Burke and Jimmy Van Heusen. You remember them? They wrote that song, Would You Rather Swing on a Star, Carry Moonbeams Home in a Jar, Johnny Burke and Jimmy Van Heusen.
Hello, Father.
Hello, Johnny, Jimmy.
Hello,
Jack.
Father.
Oh, yes. They brought a fellow along with them that said he'd like to sing it. Claims he's a baritone. I didn't get his last name, but his first name is Bing.
Oh, hello, Father.
Hello, Bing.
Well, a lot of major league talent you have here, huh? Well, good evening, Father.
Good evening, Bing.
Hi,
Welcome to
Jack.
the
Hello, Bing. Say, Jack, the boys here have written a song that they think more or less suits Father Keller's purpose.
Oh, then you know his work.
Oh, certainly.
Good, good. Say, did Father Keller tell you about the Declaration of Independence and the pains our forefathers went to in writing this beautiful document?
Yes, he did, Jack. In fact, that was sort of the inspiration for the song. I hope it fits, Father. In any case, here it is. The dream I'm building is early American.
Doo-doo.
Something that won't go out of style. It makes you feel that life's worth living the way they must have felt that first Thanksgiving. You sure get sold on that early American after you look around
Okay.
a while.
I hope to get down there myself in a few.
Their dish.
But come back to the truths that are in the Declaration of Independence. In their enlightened belief, nothing stamped with the divine image of
Their dish. Good luck, Father.
Thanks a lot. I'll be seeing you. Bye-bye. Jack, I can't begin to thank you for this. It's marvelous.
Don't thank me, Father. I want to thank you for the chance to help out on an idea as important as this. And of all the things you mentioned, the one that stands out in my mind is the part about the Declaration of Independence.
Jack, it stood out in somebody else's mind, too. I wanted to tell the rest about it, but I didn't dare take any more of their time. I have a copy here of Lincoln's lost speech. If I may, I'd leave it with you.
On what?
Notice his magnificent language. Just read a bit of that.
1858. This was their lofty and wise and noble understanding of the justice of the Creator to his creatures, to the whole great family of man. In their enlightened belief, nothing stamped with the divine image and likeness was sent into the world to be trodden on and degraded and embruted by its fellows. Now, my countrymen, if you have been taught doctrines which conflict with the great landmarks of the Declaration of Independence, if you have listened to suggestions which would take from its grandeur and mutilate the symmetry of its proportions, if you have been inclined to believe that all men are not created equal in those inalienable rights enumerated by our Charter of Liberty, let me entreat you to come back. Return to the fountains whose waters spring close by the blood of the Revolution. Think nothing of me. Take no thought for the political fate of any man whomsoever, but come back to the truths that are in the Declaration of Independence. Do not destroy the immortal emblem of humanity, the Declaration of Independence.
God bless you, Jack. God bless you too, Rochester. Thank you.
Crazy. Hold on, what was that called again? The what now?
Thank you for this. It's marvelous.
Don't thank me, Father. I want to thank you for the chance to help out on an idea as important as this.
What was it? Abraham Lincoln
and
what?
One of the things you mentioned, the one that stands out in my mind is the part about the Declaration of Independence.
Jack, it stood out in somebody else's mind, too. I wanted to tell the rest about it, but I didn't dare take any more of their time. I have a copy here of Lincoln's lost speech. If I may, I'd leave it with you. Notice his magnificent language. Just read a bit of that.
1858. This was their lofty and wise and noble understanding of the justice of the Creator to his creatures, to the whole great family of man. In their enlightened belief, nothing stamped with the divine image and likeness was sent into the world. The one that stands out in my mind is the part about the Declaration of Independence.
Jack, it stood out in somebody else's mind, too. I wanted to tell the rest about it, but I didn't dare take any more of their time. I have a copy here of Lincoln's lost speech. If I may, I'd leave it with you.
Lincoln law speech?
Magnificent language. Just read a bit of that.
1858. This was their lofty and wise and noble understanding of the justice of the Creator to his creatures, to the whole great family of man. In their enlightened belief...
Abraham Lincoln's... his greatest speech. Damn, dude, I am not accomplished lawyer. I find quite as much material for a lecture in those points wherein I have failed as in those wherein I have been moderately successful. The leading rule for the lawyer, as for man of every other calling, is diligence, leaving nothing for tomorrow which can be done today. Never let your correspondence fall behind. Whatever piece of business you have in hand, before stopping, do all the labor pertaining to it which can then be done. When you bring a common law suit, if you have the facts for doing so, write the declaration at once. If a law point be involved, examine the books and note the authority you rely on upon the declaration itself, where you are sure to find it when wanted. The save defense and pleas in business not likely to be litigated. Ordinary collection cases, foreclosures, business discourse, fees in the important department. That I am not a member of any Christian church is true, but I have never denied the truth of the scripture. I have never spoken with intentional disrespect of religion in general or any diminished Christian in particular. Such as a man the times have demanded, and such as the promise that God was given us, but he is gone. Let us strive to deserve as far as mortals may, to continue to care of divine providence, trusting that in future national emergencies he will not fail to provide us. He says I have a proneness for quoting scripture. If I should do so now, it occurs that perhaps he places himself somewhat upon the ground of the parable of the lost sheep which went astray upon the mountains. And when the owner of the 100 sheep found the one that was lost and threw it upon his shoulders and came home rejoicing, it was said that there were more rejoicing over the one sheep that was lost and had been found than over the 99 in the fold. Great cheering, renewed cheering. The application is made by the Savior in the parable. Thus, verily I say unto you, there is more rejoicing in heaven over one sinner that repenteth than over 99 just persons that need no repentance. And now, if the judge claims the benefit of his parable, let him repent. Let him not come up here and say, I am only just person. You are the 99 sinners. Repentance before forgiveness is a provision of the Christian system, and not the condition alone will the Republic grant his forgiveness. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. That was an interesting video. I think I'm gonna go to the gym now, though. It is 9 o'clock. We've been on for 2 hours already streaming. The Middleton family at the New York World's Fair in 1939. Okay, I'm interested. Holy smokes. It's so muddled. Is there a better version of this? Hold on. Dude, it's so bad. I can barely hear it, man.
Way to express past, present, or future.
I can't though. Wow. Okay, well, hold on. Let's see here. Let's see if I can just like get rid of this. Oh, we can. Is this better? Oh, we're watching this tomorrow for sure. Oh, this is what we're watching tomorrow for sure. Look at this. What the? Bro. This is the World Fair, by the way, in 1939, I want to say. We're watching right now. I like watching old things. The further you go back in time, the closer you get to the truth.
The microvivarium to the playground of science.
Hiya, Jim, how's the boy?
Gee whiz, mister.
The same old bud. That's a new one, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it a beaut? Hello, Jim.
Hello, Mrs. Harrison. How are you, Mrs. Middleton?
Oh, Jim, it's so good to see you. You're looking fine.
It's good to see you again. Hello, Mr. Middleton. How are you?
Full of air, Jim. You're certainly a sight for sore eyes.
It's sure grand to see somebody from the old hometown. When'd you get in?
Just last night. Your father and mother saw us off. They said if we didn't look you up the first thing, they'd never speak to us again.
Hey, Jim, just what do you do around here? Are you a boss or something?
Well, not exactly, but I'm sort of backstop for the guys. When they can't answer a question, I take a crack at it. I don't know it, I look it up, which is often.
Gee, I didn't know you were that smart.
I'm not, bud. But you see, before the fair opened, we took a special course of instruction to prepare us for the questions the company thought might be asked.
Well, do they stick you very often?
And how? Why, just this morning, a lady asked me how long it'd take to read the microfile in the time capsule.
We've been reading a lot about the time capsule. Could we take a look at it?
Why, sure. We can get to it this way.
Time capsule
capsule of cupelloi, deposited on the site of the New York World's Fair on September 23rd, 1938, by the Westinghouse Electric and Manufacturing Company. If anyone should come upon this capsule before the year AD 6939, let him not wantonly disturb it, for to do so would be to deprive the people of that era of the legacy here left them. Cherish it, therefore, in a safe place.
5,000 years from now, the peoples of the future will look back on us as we look back on the early Egyptians and
Yeah, make it.
Babylonians. The time capsule down there is actually a message from our time to theirs. Those who open and study it will know more about us than any man living today.
But Jim, how in the world do you know it'll last so long?
Because the copper tools of the ancients have come down to us from even farther back. The capsule is made of a still better copper alloy called cupelloi. It's hard as steel and equal to pure copper in resistance to corrosion.
Well, what I'm wondering is how anybody will know how to find it in the year, what was it, 6939?
How to find it, what's in it. In fact, everything about it was printed in a book of record of the time capsule. It's on permanent paper that's been distributed throughout the world. To libraries, museums, lamasseries, monasteries, temples, every safe place imaginable.
Well, who picked the stuff that was to go in it, Jim?
A committee, aided by authorities in every field of science and the arts. It's a complete record of our civilization.
Is this exactly like the capsule?
Yes, and it's cut away so you can see how it's packed. These side cases show you the variety of things in them.
Look, there's a woman's hand.
The ladies have to reveal a lot about us to future scientists.
It sure will. They'll think we're nuts.
Are these little reels the microfile?
Yes. It's
All
hard
right.
to believe, but on these small reels of film are reproduced all these books, papers.
We'll put this up tomorrow. Oh, what?
As I said before, ladies and gentlemen, this contest is going to be scored.
I suppose you think that's funny.
I'll say again. But Nick's different.
Well, be like.
Well, I don't think they'd be any fair.
Well, that's fair enough.
Yeah, that one was pretty good actually. Where's this time capsule at? October 4th, under the Westin Building in the World's Fair, the time capsule which will convey into the world's inhabitants in 5,000 years' time? This time capsule won't be up until 5,000 years later? Holy schmoly, dude. Dude, it says 5,000 years, bro. That's crazy. How? That's crazy. What's the, man, that's wild. 5,000 years? All right, though. I'm out of here, man. It's time. I got to go to the gym. I got work at noon today. I need to get ready. The World's Greatest Fair full documentary. We might want to watch this one, too. I will be on tomorrow, as always. As always, may peace be with you. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. I love you.